Hey everyone, stick with us versus herd. If it's your first time here, like the content, hit subscribe. If you want to get notifications from when we go live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before market open. Tap the bell. And if you want to join the UVH fam, our community, links are below in the description to our Discord and our options trading group on Facebook. If you are here, happy Friday. You made it. We made it through. Say what up. Say good morning. Right now, S&Ps are down 14, Dow down 183, Nasdaq is down only 4. Nasdaq was just up a little bit, like a few minutes ago here. What's going on, Jeff? How we doing? Let's see what we got going on right now. So today, let's get a little organized here. So SPY is down to 302.70. What's going on, Keith Alec? Good morning. Right now, SPY is down to 302.70. Costco had earnings, which I did trade, so we got some things to cover. What's going on, Luke? Yeah, I hope we're green. I am short workday as well. I'm short at the 182.50 strike. Probably should have sold premium, honestly. Anyways, kind of getting into it this morning. All right, Elon Musk is going to get paid his first performance bonus worth like almost $800 million. You know, he was under a lot of scrutiny, as you guys know, when Elon put this together. What was it, like 2018? He's earning the first portion of his incentive-based stock option payout. Based on the terms of filing, Musk will receive a first tranche for keeping the company's market capitalization at $100 billion along with other revenue milestones. Right now, a Tesla stockholder is challenging the compensation plan. Let's see, when did this plan come into place? So he has one of the 12 tranches under this award has vested and become exercisable, subject to Mr. Musk's payment of the exercise price of $350 a share. So I mean, it is only $350 a share, and the minimum 5-year holding period, period generally applicable to any shares he acquires upon exercise. So it's not like he's getting liquid money. Is it going to be a good day? The opposite. What's the opposite of a good day? A bad day? But then, I mean, what about like a neutral day, Tobin? Yo, Renji, Kevin, if you're just joining, say what up. So, Musk does not take a salary at this point. At this point, he owned about 18% of the company as of May 1st. A stake worth around $24 billion. So I don't think Elon is that liquid, to be honest with you. I think he has all his cash tied up in non-liquid assets, you know. So that's his net worth will go up, but it's not like his cash, his bank is going to be going up any. And right now SPY is taking a dip down to 302. All right. So today, what everybody wants to know is what is going to be happening with Trump today. Now, Trump's China press conference could mark at the end of his cautious period of Beijing. So, what is it saying here? Does anybody know what time Trump is going to be going live today? When is he expected to do this? Donald Trump said Thursday he would hold a news conference on China on Friday, but he offered no details. After he probably saw like how poor the market did, he probably was just gonna be like, "Yo, I'm gonna back up off this for a little bit," you know. After he see how poor the market did, but he might. I don't know. You guys think he's gonna ghost us? Yo, Jonathan, I'm in cost too. I'll talk about cost in a second here. So, in the past week, the pressure from U.S. has taken a more serious turn in response to a proposed China security law that threatens the long-standing independence of Hong Kong. Other potential issues are a border dispute between China and India that Trump has offered to mediate, and legislation awaiting Trump's signature concerning China's treatment. So, yo, what's going on? So yeah, he offered no details. He offered no details on this. Right now the markets are dropping a little bit. S&Ps are now down 17. Dow's down 210. So they're down a little bit since we started the live stream. I'm trying to get. I don't know if it was like on a schedule or just. So there is no current time slot, it looks like. So I guess it's gonna be a surprise, guys, if it even happens at all. I would assume, now I don't know if this is gonna happen or not. I would assume he would try to do this after market hours, because like you guys remember his press conferences for the coronavirus updates. He was doing it during market hours and that wasn't going so well, so he moved it to after market hours. So anything can happen. Right now, I am in Costco. Talk about Costco here. So Costco earnings. They basically missed earnings due to people stockpiling up in March, and then in April I guess not as many people went to Costco. They don't have really much of an online business, and they had higher than expected. They had higher costs due to coronavirus because of all the preventative measures they need to do. So that is what happens. They came in at $1.89 a share. Same store sales were up 4.8%, and revenue was at $37 million. So that's essentially what this article says here. So Costco, I think that Costco right now is at 304. I mean, it may rip up. It's still within range if we're looking at Costco here at 304. It's still within this really tight formation, so it wasn't able to break out of formation. It didn't come down to like 290. It didn't rip up to like 320. So it's just at 304. So it's just been kind of consolidating and hanging out around the 300 area, which is good. But at the same time, it didn't really do anything. I have a Costco strangle on right now. I have a 307.50 put and a 325 call for June 19th expiration. So I got 20 days on it right now. So we'll kind of see. I'm going to kind of see what happens. My target on Costco was the 300 area, and right now it's just at like it hit 302.50, but that was about it. So I think Trump doesn't really have the. If you're just joining, say what up. So what's going on? I didn't see any time on his conference. Yeah, what's going on, Lion? Hank, Daniel Sawyers, how you doing? So, yeah, I think the Trump press conference is going to be hovering over us until it happens. For me, I'm probably just going to be cleaning up what I have here, not trying to go in too thick. I am definitely glad I got a JP Morgan yesterday. I had the 100 calls. That's taken a nice dip this morning here. I sold it for a $48 loss or $42 loss yesterday when it broke out of range. So I thought it was going to maybe rebound up to 102, but it did not. I'm also in Disney, but I'm in it for July. Disney's taking a hit. Disney was downgraded yesterday and just is kind of selling off a little bit, coming back down to the 115 area. If it can kind of consolidate around the 115 area would be good, but we'll see. I mean, it had a massive rip down yesterday on the downgrade, along with the market dropping a little bit at the end of the day here due to the China news. Can you go over CGC? They sucked on earnings. Twitter flagged one of Trump's tweets last night for glorifying violence. Yeah, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. CGC. So yeah, let's talk about CGC. I mean, they were breaking out of range finally. I mean, basically the weed stocks have been in a recession since 2018. They've just been on the straight decline. It started to break out of range. People were getting excited about it, but you know what they say, you know, numbers do not lie. Let's try to get, where is, I'm just going to try to pull up the CGC earnings report. So looks like what happened with them is they had a steep demand drop. So demand, shares of, oh man, there's so many ads, hold on. Shares of, no, Kramer, we do not want to subscribe right now. No. Shares of the Canadian Canopy Growth plunged on Friday after the company posted a significantly wider than expected fiscal fourth quarter loss, driven by a steep decline in demand for pot and pot-infused products that sparked it to a $743 million charge. To take a $743 million charge. So I think that the market is reacting to the demand, and they're looking forward at guidance, and it is not looking good, which does create some opportunities for us. I don't know what they plan on doing. This is the maker of cannabis-infused products, including drinks, chocolate, and vape devices, which has already been struggling with lower than expected consumer demand, took a particularly strong hit through the January-March period in the COVID-19 pandemic, turned customers off of non-essential goods. So I actually thought, and this is probably what people were thinking too, is, hey, people are sitting around, no entertainment, they're probably smoking pot, but apparently they're using that money to buy toilet paper and essential goods versus non-essential goods. Like, you don't need, well, I guess depends who you talk to. You don't need pot to live, but yeah, here we are, CGC. So sales directly to consumers dropped 14% due to the weak expected off-peak seasonal demand decline. So they're seeing a demand decline, which is not good. Not good. Overall, the company took a mostly non-cash charge of $743 million during the quarter. It also announced it was withdrawing guidance for fiscal 2021. So, I mean, no, there was no good news, and they didn't offer any forward guidance of a light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, this thing, what was the expected move on CGC? I wish I traded it. $2. Man, these are gonna be up. These puts are gonna be up enormous. So, sorry, Hank. It's not looking good for the future. I think it might just come back down to like the 13 area, but it might be an opportunity to get in. However, premium is especially high on this right now, so I don't know what the play would be. I guess short any bounces would be ideal. Now that the report has come out. Can you comment on LK? Guys, I told you many times, don't mess around with stocks that have fraud, especially accounting fraud, unless you're willing to lose your entire investment. Okay, so I mean, for LK, I mean, basically right now the company came out basically saying, hey, we're a scam. We got the people involved taken care of. We're going to be back on the market. But, I mean, we don't know. We don't know what the truth is. The company's based on China. We don't know how much cash they have in the bank. I mean, what they say is not necessarily true, as you can see. So companies that are dealing with accounting fraud, financial fraud, that type of thing, you want to be very, very careful with. You don't want to just go all in, you know? And, you know, they made it through. They made it through quite a few earnings reports as a scam, and the stock market was the stock price was ripping up. But now look, and the thing is, what people look here all the time, this happens all the time, is, hey, the stock was $50, now it's $2, I'm getting a deal. Are you getting a deal? Are you getting a deal? You know, are you getting a deal? No, you're not getting a deal, because the stock price never should have been $50 in the first place. If the company reported true numbers, it would never have gone this high. It probably would never even stayed at 20, right? So that is why you want to be very careful. I mean, if the company can recover great, but you're going to want to play long term. Long term. If you want to just buy a bunch of shares right now and hang on, and if you lose it all, you lose it all. But that's the risk. That's the risk that you have to decide if you want to take. If you want to put $500 or $100 or $1,000 in right now, buy as many shares as you can with that for $2. Do it if you want to, but the risk with LK is you can lose. You have a higher risk of losing your entire investment, especially if there's like a crackdown in China. I mean, it could get really, really, really crazy. And I wouldn't go in and be like, I'm gonna take out a second mortgage on this and take out the college tuition for my kids and just throw it down, right? This is not where you want to do that. Like if you want to take a small chance on a stock and maybe it comes back from $2 to $20, maybe that would be great. But I don't know if and when it could be down here for years. It could be down here for a very long time. So just be mindful, LK. What you're investing in, you could potentially lose the entire investment. And if you are going to invest in it, start thinking longer term, like pushing that all out, right? Yo, what's going on? Is Workday gonna dump soon, man? I've been waiting for it to dump. It looks like it wants to. It squeezed out a few more bears at the end of the day here. When it popped up to 187, it came back down to 182. So it's kind of just chilling. I'm looking for like the 180 area today if it can hit it. People just buying the illegal stuff for cheaper. Yeah. So, yeah, Kevin, you're right. It's Enron all over. I guess the one thing with Enron is they ruined a lot of people's lives, and I don't think LK is really ruining that many people's lives. Enron was a whole other beast. American institution, cost thousands and thousands of jobs, investor money, billions. I mean, it was. It's amazing that with all the laws and everything that we have to protect ourselves, that those type of things can go on for so long. Like the Bernie Madoffs, the whole. I mean, it's amazing that you can keep it running that as long as they do, and report to the government officials, even though the reporting is wrong, and then eventually catches up to you. But at that point, you're so far down the rabbit hole, like it takes a long time to unwind as well. So, Luke, you're saying put debit spread in SPY. So I currently have a put debit spread on SPY. So SPY is just chilling right now at 302. My put debit spread I have for June 19th, I have the 303 put I bought, and I'm short the 290 put. And I'm looking for it just to come down to the 300 area. I don't know. I don't think it's going to break trend yet unless something happens. I mean, if something happens today, which, I mean, there's a probability, but I don't know. We don't know what this press conference is about. We don't know what he's going to say. We don't know what the rhetoric is. We don't know if he's going to be clamping down. We do know that he is looking to obviously make China pay for what happened with the pandemic, but how he goes about doing that, I don't know. We don't know. And he didn't give any details on his press conference. He didn't give a time. He just like fat fingered it and said we're having a press conference tomorrow, and it is what it is, So I think that yes, this could definitely solve. But if you're going against the trend, you want to be very careful right now. So right now I am going against the trend a little bit, but my targets are realistic. My targets, I'm looking to, like some people like, oh, I want it to go down to 280. Okay, that's not a realistic target for today. Realistically, I'm just looking for like the 300 area. Maybe 295 if things get a little spicy. You might see 295 area, but the way the market is reacting right now, it's kind of just chilling. It's Dow's down 200 and the S&Ps are down 16, but we've seen it recover more than that in just a few minutes. So it's not. I would say this is not down enough to really matter. Do you guys know the Fed is pumping that? I think the Fed is injecting 500 billion on Monday. Is JD going down? I mean, all the Chinese stocks are going to be impacted in some way due to this. I mean, they sold off pretty hard yesterday. I mean, JD definitely does look like it's flagging to the downside here. So JD might be a good bet to come back down to like the 44 area. Looks like a decent trade in there. Baidu's come down a little bit. Pretty much the same setup. These did well for earnings, but are flagging on the way down. Alibaba, same thing. Now Alibaba's back to the 199-200 area that's been kind of hugging for the last month or so. But I think looking at JD is probably the better short. And I actually was looking at this. I might enter a short position here as well. Might go into June or July expiration, maybe July. June, I feel like June's cutting a little too close. So I might go into July expiration on JD and short it back down to like the 46, 45 area. Might be good. Right now it's at 51. So we'll see. It really depends. Right now I'm just gonna be sitting tight and see what happens. Netflix. So Netflix. Yeah, Netflix. I mean, it had that hard bounce. I would be interested to see if it's going to consolidate or if it's going to revisit this 400 area. So we tapped the 400. It dipped below briefly before ripping back up a couple days ago. And yesterday, I mean, it did sell off with the rest of the market. I mean, it came down from 419 down to 411, which is huge. So you want to be careful. It is popped up a couple bucks right now, but I mean, the market is going to be super finicky today. Home Depot, yeah. I mean, Home Depot. The thing about Home Depot, I trade Home Depot a lot because it's not really impacted by the situation in China, and it does fairly well when there's China news out. But if we're in like a total like market liquidation, nobody is going to be safe. If we're in for a total market liquidation today, nobody's going to be safe once that thing starts selling off. As you can see, I mean, Home Depot did dip. Man, I can't believe it actually hit 252 and then got rejected. I mean, still the trend is still amazing trend. So you still want to be careful. I do think that it could dip down to 240, 242 area, but I think you want. I had 2 winning trades last week on Home Depot shorting. And let me tell you something. Shorting Home Depot last week was like clinching cheeks. You had to get out. You had to have proper execution. I'm glad last week I had some discipline because this week I didn't have the same discipline and it cost me almost $2,000. So, we're starting to make some back, but it wasn't good. When you trade to Home Depot, you need to have really good discipline. Also, with Home Depot, the options are not liquid, so you even have to be more disciplined to get in and get out at a decent price. If you guys are just joining, say what up. Hit the like button if you guys can. What other stocks are you guys looking at before market open? Market opens in about 6 minutes. Other than that, I mean, there's not a whole lot going on right now. NIO did report earnings as well. Did they? Yep. NIO. That was the other day. That was Thursday. On a day off. But NIO actually is holding up relatively well. 383, currently at 380. So I actually thought NIO, if you guys are trading, I thought it was going to come back to about $3, and it didn't. American Airlines. Yeah, let's look, Daniel. There's a lot of Daniels in here. Man. Like, the airlines charts are just always so depressing. And when it shows a little bit of life, all it does is tap the highs and gets rejected. You know what I mean? Like, all it did here, I mean, it ripped from 950 up to 1250, which is a ginormous move. However, it got tapped out exactly where this high was after earnings and came back down. So, airlines is just a short the rip, I guess, because these are still making lower highs. They just keep continually going down. I mean, however, they are getting extremely low, so there's gonna be a point in time where it's like, hey, these can't go any lower, and that's what people were thinking around 8 or 9. Hey, these can't go any lower, but they can go higher and then come back down. You know what I mean? So just be careful. But I mean, right now the airlines are just a short the rip play. I mean, they're just Delta looks the best. Delta looks the best, I think. I mean, I don't like that it got topped out here, but it does look like it's holding a little bit better. I mean, it is lower today, but it doesn't look as bad as American. Yeah, United Airlines looks bad too. I mean, Delta actually looks the best, but I wouldn't, like, for me, I'm not buying calls on the airlines right now. Trump has a press conference scheduled at 4 p.m. with industry executives. I don't know. Any advice on adjusting an iron condor that's moving slowly into the money, or just cut the loss quick? I mean, it depends on how much time you have, Luke. Like how much time that you have on that trade. If it's just kind of like touching the one of the sides, I mean, you have time for it to kind of come back into range, unless you think it's not going to work out. Then you can roll that side down a little bit, and then you can roll the call side. Depending on what side you're on, you can adjust. You could take profits from the side that's not getting touched, roll that down, and then the side that's getting tested, you can either keep, and that way you get a bigger credit because you roll down the winning side. However, the risk of that is if it reverses, you might get hurt on the other side then. So it really depends on what your plan is and how much time that you have, and what the actual what your targets were for the stock price and what time frame you had it in. We can have only slightly the money out. Like for me, if I'm trading an iron condor and it's just testing one side, I generally don't do anything because you still have theta on your side. So even if it just sits testing your position at that strike, so let's say I had an iron condor on Delta, and it's 24.50 or something like that, or 25. Let's say the put side was 25. I'm being tested at 25. Is at 24.50. I would just leave it, because even if it just hangs out here, theta is going to eat that option, and you'll make it out okay. However, if it goes deep in the money, you're going to be a little bit in trouble, and then you can maybe do some adjustments. But for me, like when you're trading or selling premium, you don't want to have weak hands per se. You don't want to have weak hands, because selling premium, most times when you're selling premium, you're going to be tested. You're going to be tested most times when you're selling premium at some point in time while you have that position on. So use theta to your advantage when selling premium. If it's just sitting there, I mean, if you're deep in the money, you kind of just have to hold and wait and kind of see if it works their way out. Like if you're at max loss, you kind of just have to wait and see what happens. You can adjust the losing side, roll it down, take some more credit in if you still believe in it, or you can. There's a range of things you want to do, but it depends on how much time you have. But since you're a week and a half away, I would say you have some time. Let's see what happens. Maybe they'll come back. And if it just sits there, you're still gonna be winning due to theta. So it'll eat that option down. Now, if it looks like it's just like kind of sitting there, and it looks like it's gonna go way deep in the money. Let's say something happens to the stock market, it looks like it's way deep. I mean, then at that point, like for me, I would cut losses. Like if I'm like, let's say I had an iron condor right now on the S&Ps, or let's say just on SPY, and it was testing me at the 302 area. Let's say it was at 302. Knowing this press conference, I might just exit it today for a small loss versus sit through the press conference, because if the press conference goes bad and it rips through my strikes, I'm going to have an immediate loss with no way to recover. So you kind of, like when you're trading options, you always have to start thinking a step ahead of yourself. Like, what can you do? What are your options? If this happens, where does this happen? And start playing out different scenarios. Like, what are you comfortable with? What are you comfortable with in that situation? And then you can start, maneuvering a little bit better. Because right now you might not have a plan. If you don't have a plan, you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it out green. You're not going to make it out alive. And that's why, in schools and all that, that's why they do fire drills. They have a plan. When things happen, you have to have a plan in place. So when X, Y, Z happens, you need to have a plan in place. So you need, when it comes to options trading, and you have a position on, you have to think about the future. You have to think defensively, and you have to think about, okay, if this position goes against me, do I leave it and put a position offset it somewhere else? I mean, what do I do? So you kind of have to start planning ahead and start thinking of, and things happen to the market, and it's not always your fault, but you have to kind of go with the flow, you know? Yo, Ricardo, what's going on? What's going on, Ricardo? Yo, Tan, how are you doing, Faiz? So, man, market's dropping a little bit here. So we'll see what happens. I'm up a little bit on SPY. I'm up $150 on the position currently. I'm up small on Costco, up $40 on Costco Strangle. So we'll see what happens. Right now the market, I mean, it's weak, but it's just been in range all night. If you're looking at the S&Ps right here, you know, it's kind of testing the bottom part of the range here. So we'll see what happens. Yo, T5, what's going on? XLF and XLE. I think the financials are down today pretty good. Yeah, I mean, these are down pretty good. Pretty choppy. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this comes back down to 23 or maybe even 22, which would be crazy. Which would be crazy on XLF. XLE energy's down too. But unlike XLF energy, I mean, it's still maintaining trend here, so I wouldn't be too concerned. Let's see what's going on here. So SPY, I'm up 15% on right now. Costco, I'm up 5%. Costco looks like it wants to come back though. Yeah, people always like to buy the dip on Costco. They always like to buy the dip on Costco. You know, it's like, look at that. So we're just kind of chilling right now. I might actually trim off this SPY position and kind of see what we're gonna do. Probably shouldn't, but probably shouldn't. We'll just leave it. We'll leave it. We'll leave it. We'll see what happens today. We'll see what happens today. It's in Snap, call size 18, just to clarify, not ashamed of my bad positions. Yes, Snap. Yeah, Snap, I mean, I think Snap is kind of getting a sympathy play from Twitter and Facebook, and then moving money into Snap. I mean, it does. The thing is, like for me, I wouldn't close this position out because it's at the top of the range and it has a high probability of getting rejected here. However, if it keeps testing it, it could pump up to 19. But Snap is a crazy stock, so you just kind of want to hold. I mean, look, dollar more moves happen very frequently with Snap. So I mean, you want to be careful, but playing the chart right now, for me, I would just kind of hang on. If it does break through, start thinking about your plan right now. It's like, okay, if this breaks through to 19, like, what's my plan? Like, what would be your plan? That's what I would try to start figuring out, you know. CRM, I am not in CRM. I mentioned it last night on the live stream. I am potentially looking for a day trade on CRM, but I'm not currently. I would love for it to break down to 160 here, but that might be wishful thinking. We talked about Disney a little bit. I didn't specifically mention anything regarding the chart. It did get hit yesterday due to a downgrade, and then that China news sell-off, or the China press conference sell-off, or whatever we want to call it these days. I don't even know, but Disney. I mean, I think Disney's gonna be okay. I think it might pop sit around 115 for a while before popping back up. I believe that they're going to have some good press coming up. July 11th, they're expected to reopen their parks. So as that gets closer, I think they're going to pump up. I do think it's going to be a sell the news event, but I do think that there's going to be a pump at some point. There was a little bit of a pump. I think that we're going to get pumped up to like 130, 135 area is what I'm looking at. I think it's gonna be a sell the news event, but it doesn't really matter what that is if we can take advantage of the pump in there. However, if this breaks down hard, we're gonna be a little bit in trouble. But I am in a position for July on Disney. I have a debit spread. Ricardo, how bad do you think GE is gonna get clapped today? I mean, I don't understand why it went up to 750 in the first place. like I think they just squeeze people out, get better short positions, and they pop, lock, and drop that. That was crazy. Right now the market's not doing anything though. It's just kind of chilling. SPY doesn't look good though. But S&Ps are at the bottom of the range. As you can see, last night they've been getting popped up to 330 pretty much all night long, all morning long, and now we're back down being tested at the bottom of the range. So the question is, are we just going to sit here, burn some premium today, or are we going to crack through? That is the question. DKNG. Yeah, I mean, once sports is over, it's a wrap, man. I think ideally this is probably gonna be like a $50 stock and maybe like a $100 stock by next year. Just being honest, and that's what I believe. It's not investment advice. It's just what I believe. Now that I've seen the price action, I thought this was gonna kind of fall to penny land, but now that we're seeing that states are reopening and sports are going to continue with or without fans. DraftKings all day, right? If DraftKings can come back down to 35 or 32, I would like to enter a position. So if there is a sell-off today, I will be looking at DraftKings to enter a long position in on, and maybe I'll go into like August expiration or July expiration. We'll see. And Costco's ripping down now. But I'm waiting for it a little bit. I thought it got a little topped out here around 39 yesterday, ripped down in the afternoon. So we'll see if there's a little bit of a pump. People getting in right now, and see if we get a little fade this afternoon, or if this press conference has gotten the ability to lower the stock price of DraftKings would be ideal. It's gotten rejected at 18 so much. Just hoping it drops back. Yeah, like for me, when I put iron condors, this would be a very good setup for me. This would be a very good setup for me because you're using this as protection. So even if it stays up here, theta is gonna help you out, man. So I wouldn't be too worried about it. if it just hangs out here at 1830, just use theta to your advantage. And that's the primary reason why you put on an iron condor on, is to be neutral and use theta to wind down that option pricing. And it's a low risk trade. You don't really have to manage that much. You can go out. Well, I don't know if things are open where you guys are at. Things are actually reopening in Illinois today. I'm gonna stay inside because it's gonna be a freaking zoo. Everyone's gonna be out. Everyone is gonna be insane. Everyone's going out getting their haircut. I already got my haircut, so I'm good. I know some people. Got my haircut. I don't need to be dealing with the massive lines to get into anywhere. So I'm good. I'm good. Let's see if you have a small account. What can you trade here? Yeah, I guess I'm not really taking care of you guys with smaller accounts. What about Peloton? What's Peloton doing? Man, Peloton's ripping back up to 42, 43 area. However, this looks really ugly. Like the 1 year on Peloton is like, do you want to get long here? Do you want to get short here? I mean, it's like, well, you don't want to get long per se, but going short looks like it to be dangerous because look at the strength it had. I mean, it pulled up from 38 to 44 just now. Sheesh. Yeah, you want to be careful about Peloton. Well, I'm still observing Peloton. I'm not sure what I want to do with it yet, but I don't feel like the entry is great right now. What's a small account? Well, technically the government qualifies any account under 25K a small account, but I think that people that have under like, yeah, I guess you would say $5,000 under $2,000, and anything under 10 grand essentially is a small account, you know. Thoughts on debit spread, call spreads, SPY? Yeah, I would, if you're looking to go long SPY, like for me, like if I want to go long SPY, I'm definitely going to be waiting till, I mean, Powell's speaking today. We got Trump speaking today. I mean, sure, maybe we can get a pump, maybe not. I would err on the side of caution. You know, if you care about your money, I mean, if you want to take a gamble down here because it's been holding support, that's fine. But if you really care about what's in your account, you would wait. You would wait till afterwards. Yeah, T5. Let's talk about Uber. Uber's wrapping back up here, but it's coming up on resistance up in here in like the 35 area. On the weekly side, I mean, the trend is still your friend. I think that it will break, but the question is when. I mean, this trend has been pretty solid here. So it's just been following trend. Right now, it's consolidating. I mean, I think for Uber, let's see what's the implied volatility at. It's really low. I mean, you could sell some in the money put spreads or something on that, but it's relatively cheap. It's relatively cheap right now on the premium side, so you're not going to get that great of a deal. I mean, you might be able to sell some put spreads in here. If it's just kind of hanging around 34, you can just wear down those options and hope for the best, you know. And the market's all over the place right now. Chipotle is back up. Now, Chipotle, I definitely don't recommend trading because I tried to get into some spreads in there and it wasn't good. Really, it's really tough to trade Chipotle. But the movement is insane, but the liquidity on the options is honestly pretty terrible. And Tesla's moving up. All right, Netflix is getting a little pump right now. It's up $6. So I know there were a lot of people on the Facebook page saying that they needed a $10 pump in Netflix, and here we go. Here it is. Thanks, Carl. If you guys appreciate it, hit the like button. CyberArk. I don't know. What is CyberArk? Never heard of it. I mean, looking at the 1 year chart here, I mean, it looks pretty good. I mean, it did take a massive dip to 95, but it looks like it wants to recover back up. But 105 area is rejection level, so you want to be really careful about the 105 area. Are they pretty liquid? Oh, there's no volume on these. So there's literally zero volume on these. So you want to be really careful that, I mean, the bid and the ask, $2 wide on the monthlies. I would definitely not trade options on this. Way too dangerous. But if you want to buy stock, I mean, go ahead. You know, but there's literally zero volume. No one's trading this, there's no market, so you're gonna have a hard time making money, even if it goes your direction. The bid and the ask might be so wide that you're not gonna get a good deal exiting the position. You might not. It's for stock. So yeah, I mean, 105 is rejection level. It looks like it wants to make another run at it, but you want to be careful. So stocks want to run, or what's the plan here? Do stocks want to run, or what? What do they want to do? Workday's holding on, burning up some premium right now. Costco's trying to rip back up. I mean, it's down $5. It's only down 2%. The expected move for Costco was about $10. It only moved $5. So, it's. I don't know why. Oh, this is cyber. We want to go to cost. I mean, this is what happens. I mean, calls are down 90%, puts are down 50, 60%. So, this is this is what happens when you trade earnings within the expected move and you don't have enough time. It's going to suck that premium out. Even though, I mean, they're at 32% now implied volatility. It was only like 50, I think, yesterday. It was low, but now implied volatility went a bit lower. It got crushed about 10% or so. No gambling here. I need high probabilities after taking some L. Yeah. I mean, today is going to be a speculation day, so just be mindful. The stock market's reacting to speculation, which it always is, but today it's going to have higher speculation due to Trump. I mean, this looks like it wants to bounce. Nasdaq just turned green. It's up to 250, but as you guys saw yesterday, I mean, this all of yesterday's gains were flushed in 45 minutes. I mean, it was terrible. W ripping could be good for puts next week, Kelly. Let's see. Yeah, Wayfair. I haven't traded Wayfair. It's a bit wild. It's a bit wild for me, but yeah, I mean, it does look like a short the rip type of scenario here. Liquidity, if I remember, wasn't the best. Yeah, kind of the same situation. That was my biggest problem. Was liquidity was pretty poor. So you want to be careful. Want to trade some stock, trade some strikes that have some volume on it. Man, just crazy. Yeah, maybe I might try to trade Wayfair. I know a lot of people are trading Wayfair, but I don't know. Didn't look that appealing to me, So we'll see what happens. But I'm gonna pop off here. You guys have a great weekend, great Friday. I will be in the Discord. I will be around. Hit me up. Hang out with us traders. Stay safe. Stay green. It's us versus herd.